Quiet, please.
7 games into the 2021 US Open Women's Singles Final, and teenagers Emma Raducanu and Leylah Fernandez had already made a lasting impression on one legend of the game. Commentating on the match for UK television, Martina Navratilova looked on in awe at the standard of play and made a bold forecast. "We are witnessing 2 future Hall of Famers," she predicted. Navratilova had already called Radhikaanu the whole package before she'd even played her quarter-final match, adding, "She might have got an A in her A-levels, but she's also got an A in tennis psychology. Her tennis IQ is extremely high, and the emotional level-headedness she has, that's really hard to come by." After Radhikaanu had lifted the trophy, the culmination of a Hollywood-style run from the qualifying stages, there came yet more adulation from Navratilova. "There are no holes in her game, and at 18 that is extraordinary," said the 59 times Grand Slam winner. No holes in her game, an extremely high tennis IQ, a future Hall of Famer. All off the back of 2, admittedly exceptional, Grand Slam performances. Remember, Radhikaanu hadn't even played a WTA main draw match at this stage. In fact, when she did, at Indian Wells the following month, the Brit was beaten by Alexandra Sasnovich. Navratilova weighed in again. "I think her life has changed so much," Martina said. "She doesn't quite know how to handle it yet." Maybe not quite the whole package then. But then, to be fair, nobody around Radhikaanu said she was, not least the player herself. "I am 18 years old," she said after losing to Sasnovich. "I need to cut myself some slack." The trouble is, will anyone else? She had to endure barbs from the likes of provocative broadcaster Piers Morgan and the equally forthright John McEnroe after her Wimbledon exit, when her dream run to the 4th round on her Grand Slam debut was cruelly ended as she retired with breathing difficulties. Her critics, yes, even a rookie 18-year-old apparently has them, wondered if she was too flaky to reach the top. At Flushing Meadows a couple of months later, she proved them all wrong. Radhikaanu became an overnight sensation, with a tour of US television studios and a glut of interviews in the wake of her victory. And it is perhaps understandable that for a country so starved of Grand Slam success, those in the British media were the most eager to place her on a pedestal. Her winning tennis and winning smile made her a regular fixture in all the UK newspapers for days afterwards. She even adorned some front pages after a pre-season exhibition in November 2021, her first match on British soil since the US Open triumph. Hype from the press is inevitable, but ex-players couldn't resist joining Navratilova in bold predictions for Radhikaanu's future. Former British number 1 Tim Henman, a long-term friend of Radhikaanu's then coach Andrew Richardson, and who acted as a mentor to the teenager during her spell in New York, reckoned some more Grand Slams were on the way. "She'll win more of these, she is that good," he said. "This is not some flash in the pan or fairy tale. She is playing top 5 tennis. It will be a hell of a ride if she can stay injury-free." Greg Rosetsky, who, like Radhikaanu, was also born in Canada before reaching the US Open final as a Brit, was equally fulsome in his praise. "I think she's going to be a multiple Grand Slam champion. She has the potential to be a world number 1. There's only 3 other female players that have got to the 4th round or better in their first 2 majors: Chris Evert, Jennifer Capriati and Monica Seles. She joins that category of elite superstars. It's enough to weigh heavy on even the most experienced shoulders. Luckily, so far, Radhikaanu appears to be taking the adulation in her stride, while still enjoying the trappings of her success. But while we might expect the sports press to latch onto the next big thing, shouldn't those involved in the game take a more measured approach? After all, this is someone at the very start of her career, which can take many twists and turns. There is no doubt Radhikaanu is already an exceptional talent and has huge potential, which, if she fulfills, will make her one of the faces of the sport for the next decade. But to declare her the whole package at 18, or confidently forecast a string of Grand Slam titles and a stint at world number 1, is at best needless hype, and at worst, irresponsible. It also fails to take into account the many other teenage talents in the game, including her US Open final opponent Fernandez, Clara Towson and Coco Gauff, the last next big thing, who is younger than Radhikaanu, similarly ranked to her at the end of 2021 and has more tour experience, including 2 titles. And that is just the next gen, the likes of Ash Barty, Aryna Sabalenka, Iga Swiatek and Sofia Kenin aren't going anywhere anytime soon. And as tennis writer Steve Tigner noted, a first Grand Slam title is no indicator of further success, with 13 different winners in the last 4 years. He wrote, "When we watch a young player blaze her way through 7 matches against highly ranked and highly motivated competition and triumph in the pressure cooker of a major final, it's logical to believe she can do it again, and logical to wonder if she's the sport's next big thing." The tennis world should manage its expectations for its young champions. Once the player falls back to earth, which is inevitable, we shouldn't immediately ask what happened. It's easy to imagine if Radhikaanu loses in the first round at the Australian Open, that we'll read articles about how she has let fame go to her head, or that she wasn't cut out for the pressure after all, or that we all got excited over nothing. In reality, Radhikaanu is a player who is finding her way on tour, who caught lightning in a bottle for 2 weeks. Many of the former pros who have gushed about Radhikaanu have added caveats about staying healthy, getting the right people around her, and ironically, not believing the hype. But the red-hot expectations and the inevitable debates that will follow should she not match them are needless white noise around an outstanding player.